If you can hear me, I've been instructed to let you know to turn your volumes up. Sometimes there is technical difficulty with the live streaming apparatus, so just turn your volume up if you can't hear me clearly. I'd like to give a good greeting to my African American family, my black African family all over the world, to my white brothers and sisters who fight for freedom, justice, and equality, specifically those white people, to people of all the other races, my Latino brothers, Asian brothers and sisters, whatever your nationality, race, or ethnicity, as long as you fight for freedom, justice, and equality for all people, and don't ignore all of the violence and bullshit that surrounds you, as long as you don't pretend like it doesn't exist and you do your part, even if it's just by calling it out wherever you see it, or if you can actually do something about it. I can call you my brother or my sister if you're that type of person. So, greetings to you all. Uh, what we're here to do today is talk about a situation involving a black father and his son that was killed by police, shot in the back by all accounts. Uh, as far as the video footage that we can see, it looks like this black boy, he really wasn't even a man yet, he was still a boy, was shot in his back while running away from police. This is what the video looks like. So we're actually going to take a look at some YouTube creators, some content creators who have done videos about this and analyzed this whole situation. And then I'm going to give you my commentary or my take on what these people have observed and the video that they produced about it. So this is what we're going to do today. We're going to go to YouTube and take a look at some content creators, because unfortunately, it is only on the internet through YouTube, TikTok, and other sources like Facebook. Although these entities, Facebook and YouTube and Google, are all racist entities that routinely engage in shadow banning and suppressing certain people's videos and content if it doesn't fall in line with the white supremacist power structure and the police state that we live under, that wants to totally dominate you and control every aspect of your life. If you don't produce content that does this, that supports that, they will shadow ban you and reduce your exposure to make it seem like nobody's interested in your content. So these entities, Facebook, Google, and YouTube, are all racist entities. They have even been taken to task. Zuckerberg has even been brought before Congress to testify about Facebook's racist antics. YouTube has been sued by black content creators for their racist practices. Google had a case brought against them, a complaint. If it wasn't a case, it was a complaint for their racist actions at their headquarters with regard to their black employees. So all this stuff is lined up against you as a black person. But we have to do what we can until our black people stop acting like our black people with money and means and power, until they stop acting like ass-kissing coons and spending their money on shit that does not help us as a people. Dumbass movies and silly TV shows that continuously depict us in negative, stereotypical ways, buying small pieces of sports teams, building schools in Africa when we need schools over here in America, buying movie theaters and all this silly shit, instead of building schools and libraries and technology centers where our children can go, where our young adults can go and learn how to master this here internet, then learn how to master technology and software and cybersecurity, become masters in science and mathematics and medicine. Until we open up these types of institutions, we'll always be in the situation that, and I'm talking about people that already have the money to do it, and they never ever fucking do it for some reason. They always want to invest in a goddamn sneaker brand, a clothing line. Nothing that really gets us anywhere as a people. I went off on a tangent there, but all these things are on my mind as a black man, and I'm sure they're on your mind as well. But let's take a look. Let's analyze this video content so that you can see what continuously goes on and what the consequences and repercussions are based on the behavior of police all over this country. Not just in Cincinnati, but all over the fucking country. These types of things take place. You only see video footage of some of it. What are you not seeing that goes on in the hood behind closed doors, that when they take the damn video cams off of their person, or turn the cameras off, or pretend like the cameras aren't working? What are they doing? And let's take a look here.
$20,000 because I use
So we have to go through this.
I'm going to show you a way to potentially make
the already tense situation between the people. The already tense.
All right, so let me cue this up. This is the court hearing for the for the father, Mr. Hinton, and some of you have already seen this. This is the court area, and this is supposed to be open to members of the public, is from what I understand. I've seen a video footage of court hearings where the public is allowed to sit in this area here, but these cops have totally taken this entire area over just to try to intimidate this young black boy's father. As this is supposed to be a show of force. As you will later see, the shit didn't work because the black man held his head high and he wasn't intimidated at all. But look at this. And let's take a listen to what this white man has to say. His channel is Here's the Deal, and he routinely covers diabolical, destructive behavior from police all over the country. And he's going to give you his insight on this as a white man. See, now even white people are starting to see how violent and fucking cowardly these cops are. How much they routinely engage in cowardly, dastardly activities. Let's take a look here.
Situation between the people and police in Ohio is intensifying with the Rodney Hinton Jr. case. If you'll remember, Rodney Hinton Jr. is the guy who used his vehicle to mow down this guy. This is Deputy Larry Henderson from the Cincinnati Police Department. And a day prior to that, the reason they say Rodney Hinton Jr. did this is because a day prior to that, the Cincinnati Police Department blew away his son when his son was involved in some shady practices with his friends who had stolen a vehicle. Rodney Hinton Jr.'s son had an illegal weapon. He was running away from the cops. A cop shot him dead, and Rodney Hinton Jr. decided, you know what? I'm going to lash out against Cincinnati Police Department, and I'm going to kill the first deputy that I see. And the first deputy that he saw was Larry Henderson. Larry wasn't
So I'm stopping it there to interject and to say this whole gun business of him having a gun, the first news reports about this that came out were very ambiguous at best. There was nothing confirmed or made definitive as to whether he actually had a gun or not. This gun that materialized or appeared, this was brought to light a few days later. who the hell knows where the cops got the gun from. I'm not saying he did have the gun. I'm not saying he didn't have the gun. All I know is they were not definite or absolute when they shot this boy dead. In the news report that I'm going to show you later on, it's going to say that. It's going to use words like he appeared to have a gun. What we know definitely rather, is that he was not pointing any gun at this police officer at the time he was shot. He was running away, fleeing. No arm was raised with any gun, and the video footage proves this and it shows this. Let's continue.
Directly involved in the shooting of Hinton's son, but he was a part of the Thin Blue Line.
Did you work in the nuclear weapons or uranium industries?
We have to put up with the commercials.
Have you become sick?
Cult whose member pulled the trigger. And I'm going to kill. Shot him dead. Friends who had stolen a vehicle. Rodney Hinton Jr.'s son had an illegal weapon. He was running away from the cops. A cop shot him dead. And Rodney Hinton Jr. decided, you know what? I'm going to lash out against Cincinnati Police Department, and I'm going to kill the first deputy that I see. And the first deputy that he saw was Larry Henderson. Larry wasn't directly involved in the shooting of Hinton's son, but he was a part of the Thin Blue Line cult whose member pulled the trigger. And now there's this trial where the law enforcement agents are showing up in force. Now, I did a video on this a couple days ago, and I said it was like 30 or 40 cops. But man, there is way more cops showing up to these court hearings for Rodney Hinton Jr. than you can shake a stick at.
All right, so we're going to fast forward to an area where he starts to talk about some more important things, and he'll get to the actual video footage.
At him, some point out that he has no bond, whereas if a cop did the same exact thing, there would be a bond and he'd be free before his hearing. So there's a whole lot of stuff going on, a lot of moving parts, and we're going to look at a couple of news stories about this.
Boy, emotions running very high inside and outside of court today as the man charged with murdering Hamilton County Sheriff's Deputy Larry Henderson is ordered held on no bond. Thanks for joining us here.
What we're going to take a look at now is we're going to take a look at the emotional outburst from Rodney Hinton Jr.'s brother. Then I'm going to give some commentary about this outburst here.
Get the arm tattoos. Look at all the sergeants.
I'm fast. I rewound it. So I'm just taking a look at the way this guy looks. You might think that this is not pertinent or relevant, but I'm driving at a point here. It looks like this man, his pants are sagging deliberately. He's a grown-ass man, but yet it looks like his pants are sagging here. This is Rodney Hinton Jr.'s brother, the one that's in court right now.
I just want my brother to see me.
See the cop right here with the twitch?
I just want my brother to see me. I just want my brother to see me. I just want my brother to see me. My brother can't see me. They did this shit before. They did this shit before.
That's not the way to do it.
They did it before. I got a video of them messing with my brother and me before.
Do it. This is not
I ain't do nothing. I just wanted my brother to see me. I ain't do nothing to him. He got my, that's my family. That's my family in that store.
come on.
Ray, please. Ray, please. Doing all that. Now, see me one-on-one, man. Now, that 40 motherfuckers here on my brother.
All right. Now, I made mention of his pants sagging because Ryan Hinton, which is the son that was murdered by the cops, as he was running away, his goddamn pants were sagging off of his ass when he was fleeing from the police. What kind of a man walks around? Before I even get to that, how fucking fast can you run away from any danger or anything with your goddamn pants sagging off of your fucking ass? Tight pants sagging off your fucking ass. How fast can you run? And this is not a game. I'm not joking here. I'm not playing around. But this is the fucking mindset that Negroes have subjected themselves to, have been influenced to project and emulate. Some fucking pants sagging off of your ass, which comes out of prison culture, that's making it harder for you to run if you can get away from any situation, if you could get away from it. It didn't look like he could get away from this one. But if you have a chance to get away by running, it's going to be harder for you to run with your fucking pants sagging off of your ass. But when you got your grown people and your grown-ass men in your family walking around with their fucking pants hanging off of their ass, what kind of an influence do they have on the younger men on their family? What kind of an influence are they pushing on to the young men in their family? Because young Ryan is doing the same thing. Emulating some shit that comes out of prison, where if you were an inmate who wanted to show that your fucking ass was available for smashing, you walked around with your pants hanging off of your ass a little bit to advertise that you were available for smashing. And this is the shit that these dumb fucking rappers and the rest of you idiot young niggas out here and even grown-ass men do. Just doing shit that everybody else does. Oh, he's doing it. They do it. I'm going to do it too. The fucking shit looks sloppy and stupid. And you're imitating that shit. Fucking niggas are fucked up in the head. Fucked up in the head. All that hollering and screaming that he's doing. How much time was he spending with his nephew? Fuck, how much time was the father spending? Don't tell me about it doesn't matter. The kid could still turn out to do bad shit and to get in a lot of trouble anyway if he came out of a good home. Look, that's bullshit. 9 times out of 10, 99.99% of the time, if you're on your sons on a daily basis and you know what they're doing every fucking minute of the day or most of the day, if you're interested in what they're doing with their free time, if you're putting that time in and you've been doing it since they were 2 or 3 years old, they won't be in a fucking stolen car. They won't be running from the fucking police because they have nothing to run from. And you know it. You know what I'm saying is true. So stop fucking making excuses for bad parenting. Stop making excuses for dereliction of duty as a parent. Stop it. You know this. If you put that time in with your kids, that you drill that shit into them since age 2, 3, on all the way up until they become young adults, that your kids won't do certain things. They just fucking won't. That does not mean they won't fall victim to a fucking coward with a badge, hell bent on murdering somebody, but they won't give them any excuse to do it. By being in a vehicle that was stolen, if it was, some people are saying that it wasn't really stolen, what the fuck are you running for then, if it's not stolen? Why are you running away from a vehicle that may or may not have had guns in it? All this shit is unnecessary behavior that you should not be involved in the first place, and all this shit could have been avoided. All this shit could have been avoided. Is it back to the YouTube scene? What?
I wanted to focus on Deputy Larry Henderson. McGuffey said regarding the chaos in the courtroom in just a minute. First, though, she wanted to focus on Deputy Larry Henderson. She thanked the community for the outpouring of support the deputies have received since the murder of the deputy. Now, we learned more about that fallen officer, including that he spent 33 years with the department and retired just 5 months ago. Now, the sheriff announced Henderson's badge number 129 will be retired. She described him as brave and wanting to be on the front lines to serve. She also noted that he was a Marine veteran. McGuffey says they will mourn and celebrate Larry, including having a full honor send-off for him later this week. I asked her how the family's doing right now.
Full honor send-off. How many lives has this guy ruined in his 33-year career? How many times has he extorted from the people he's supposed to be protecting and serving? How many times did he pull the trigger and end an innocent person's life? How many people are sitting in prison right now because of Larry Henderson? How many innocent people did he feed to the prison industrial complex?
His family.
That's very interesting. It's very interesting because what that white man just did is what the white media, white people all over social media, and white people in general like to engage in. It's called vilifying the victim. Anytime they shoot a black person in the back unarmed, anytime they shoot a black person dead in their own fucking house for no reason, anytime they murder any black person for no good goddamn reason, what do? They go on a character assassination campaign. Oh, well, he had a record. He was caught smoking some weed 12 years ago. Oh, yeah, he was in a gang. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, 15 years ago, he was caught with an unregistered firearm. Mm-hmm. Now, what does any of that shit have to do with the fact that this black person was murdered? Not a goddamn thing, but this is what racist-ass white people like to engage in, vilifying the victim. So now your own white brother here is vilifying your so-called innocent victim. He's saying, we don't know if this was a good cop. We don't know how many complaints were levied against him. We don't know how much police brutality he has engaged in. We don't know if he was involved in planting evidence on people, railroading people, putting false charges on people. We don't know. All we know is what the lying ass police department is saying. The biggest liars in the fucking country. This is what we know, what the cops are saying. So this is what your white brother is saying to you now. what you like to say to us anytime one of us gets murdered by police. You like to vilify our victims. So how's that shit feel? How's that shit feel, white man, white woman? When one of your own brothers says, oh, no, we got to think twice about this cop. We don't really know what he has really been engaging in throughout his history as a police officer. He might not be the good cop they're making him out to be. Yeah, how's that feel? Doesn't feel too damn good, does it? Let's resume.
Family is doing as well as can be expected. It was an incredible shock, you can imagine, to get that call and have to show up one by one by.
Now I'm going to fast forward to the video footage here, so you can see exactly when this young black boy gets shot in his side and in his back as he is running away from police. Let's take a look.
Cincinnati Police Station to meet with the chief and see body cam from the day before.
He's got a gun on your right,
Okay, here we go.
This is what Hinton saw his son, Ryan.
Now, the cop said that as he was running away, there you can see his fucking pants all the way down around his, underneath his ass, near the fucking middle of his leg, damn near. And they're saying that this blurred out object right here, whatever this is supposed to be a gun that was dropped on the ground. Now, we don't even know if he picked this gun up, but the video was going to show that we don't see a gun in his hand as he's running. And we certainly don't see him raise his arm up and point it at any police officer as he is running. Let's take a look.
Hinton, shot to death by a Cincinnati police officer during a stolen car incident. After seeing the video, the detective said Hinton was emotional.
It looked.
Now, I don't know. I'm going to turn this up. As the newscaster is talking, you can hear the gunshots ring out in the background. And the news has frozen the video right when the officer starts to shoot. You can see the young man's arm is down by his side. There is no weapon raised. I'm going to rewind this and look carefully at what I just pointed out to you just now. Look carefully at this.
This is what Hinton saw his son, Ryan Hinton, shot to death by a Cincinnati police officer during a stolen car incident.
Listen.
After seeing the video, the detective said Hinton was emotional.
It looks to me like his son was running away.
Okay.
And in the body cam, it is so
to meet with the chief Cincinnati police officer during a stolen car incident. After seeing the video, the detective said Hinton.
You just heard the gunshots. This is him, his back turned. His arm is all the way down by his side. And that fucking coward who was saying he was afraid for his life is shooting already. The gunshots have already rang out. He's already started to shoot. And this boy's back is damn near turned. His arm, his whole fucking arm is down. He's trying to get out of there. His pants are hanging off of his ass. You can see that there. And he's running away. No gun is raised.
Was emotional.
It looks to me like
Let me rewind this again.
Deputy Henderson was
to meet with the chief and
so we
see
can
body
see this
cam
again.
from the day before.
He's got a gun on your right,
Okay, here we go.
This is what Hinton saw his son, Ryan Hinton, shot to death by a Cincinnati police officer during a stolen car incident. After seeing the video, the detective said Hinton was emotional.
It looks to me like his son was running away. And in the body cam, it is so grainy, it's so blurry and shaky.
I stopped it. I paused it. Right here is where the shots rang out. You can hear them in the background. Pow, 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 pow. You have, if you listen intently, you can hear the shots ring out. That's why they keep stopping the video right here, because that's when he started shooting. You see his arm? Okay. No fucking gun. Even if he has one in one of his pockets or something, he's not pointing it at anybody. That's important, because I'll show you a video later on where a fucking white man pointed an AR-15 assault rifle at the cop, and he ran his pussy ass out of there like the bitch that he was. He didn't try to stop. He didn't try to run him over. I've seen cops use their car to try to ram people. That cop backed the fuck up as quick as he could, and he got his bitch ass up out of there. He wasn't no fucking hero. And they took this white man in that pointed this assault rifle at this cop. They later on pursued him down the road, and they took him in without incident. We want to show you that later on. Let's stay on this for right now.
You can't tell what's what, but you can tell that he is running away from the cop.
When tragedy strikes,
the video.
I don't even see if there's... Okay, so he's against this dumpster right here, and it's dark.
The detective said Hinton was emotional.
You hear those shots?
Didn't even want...
You can hear those shots again. They freeze the video when the shots
I don't even
happen.
see if there's... Okay,
Listen
so he's
again.
against this dumpster right here, and it's dark.
The detective said Hinton was emotional. Family didn't even want him driving
I didn't see a gun.
home. He didn't, but later came back and got...
It looks to me like the deputy who shot Hinton's son shot him as he was running away.
There you go.
Car. From there,
you go.
He headed to the UC campus where there were
Here you go, white people. All you white people that talk shit all the fucking time. Well, if they would, he had a gun. He was doing this. He was doing that. All you fucking racists out there that try to pretend like you're not fucking racist when we know you fucking are. This is for you. And there's going to be another white man that I bring up on here. And he's going to tell the fucking truth about the whole shit, too. You fucking people make me sick.
UC graduation ceremonies. And retired Hamilton County Deputy Larry Henderson was doing a special detail directing traffic.
All right. I'm through with this video. You saw it. You saw the video footage. You saw it over and over again. I rewound it a couple of times so you could see it. Pointed out the important parts, the sound of the gun being fired, coupled up with the video. You saw he was not pointing any weapon at any cop. You saw it. The white man that did the video saw it. Now we're going to go to another video and take a look and take a listen at some commentary to see what this other person has to say about it. A case of temporary insanity. Let's listen to what this brother has to say. First of all, that was from a channel called Here's the Deal. He does a lot of good videos about the behavior of cops all over the country and how they are basically a threat to freedom, justice, and equality, and are doing more harm than fucking good. So if you want to, I don't agree with everything he says, but most of what he says and most of what he does, I'm on board with. So if you want to take a look at his channel, that's it right there. There it is. Let's go to another channel, Professor Black Truth, giving some commentary where he'll also show the news article about this whole situation.
Family and fellow soldiers, I'm the Professor, and this is the Moment of Truth. By now, I'm sure you've heard about it. The police's story is that at some point on the morning of May 1st, they became aware of a stolen vehicle at an apartment complex. The police say that there were 4 individuals in the car who all fled when police arrived. One of them was 18-year-old Ryan Hinton. The cop who shot Ryan Hinton dead claimed that Ryan was pointing a gun at him, but when you look at the video, that's not clear at all. The police, of course, have also tried to claim that they attempted to administer first aid to Mr. Hinton, but if you believe that, you gotta be some kind of stupid. As we've seen with plenty of cases of police victims, from Eric Garner to Botham Jean to you name it, they don't do anything to save the life of a black person once they've shot them or strangled them or beaten them or tased them to death. They just say that and the white media repeats it. The very next morning, around 9:30 a.m., Ryan Hinton's family, including his father, Rodney Hinton Jr., went to the police chief's office to view the body camera footage of the killing. An attorney representing the family described it as disturbing. Mr. Hinton Jr. was so distraught by what he'd seen that around 10:30 a.m. he walked out before the video had even finished. He briefly came back to the police station sometime later, but just after 1 p.m., reports came over police radio about an officer down, in this case a Hamilton County Sheriff's deputy. Now, we don't know what exactly happened, but at some point Mr. Rodney Hinton Jr. was arrested, and he's now being charged with aggravated murder in this incident. Of course, he's being held without bond. The judge in this case, a very light-skinned black man, wasn't trying to control the police either. He simply allowed them to stand around in the courtroom and turn what should have been a routine arraignment into chaos. He allowed the police to flood the courtroom to the point that nobody else could get in. Mr. Hinton Jr. had to be removed, ostensibly for his own safety. They aren't acting like law enforcement professionals. They're acting like attack.
That's very interesting. He makes mention of the fact that it was a light-skinned black judge. Unfortunately, people, some members, some would say many members, let me put my face on this. Some people would say there are certain members of the black community of the lighter skin persuasion that have enjoyed a certain level of acceptance due to their extremely light complexion. They have been preferred over the darker African American members of our family in certain instances, in certain situations. This was even the case back during slavery, where they would use mulattoes as a go-between, as buffers to do some of their bidding when it came to the other blacks on the plantation. Sometimes these lighter-skinned blacks had privileges. I don't even want to say sometimes. Apparently, in a lot of cases, they were a privileged class when it came to blacks on plantations and other blacks in society and what have you. And sometimes they used their positions that they were given against their own people. And this is what he's alluding to. Now, I'm not saying this about. It's not the case for all light-skinned blacks, of course not. But in this video, this man is making mention of this because this particular man, happens to be a light-skinned black man, possibly a biracial individual, abusing his position really, and allowing the police officers to flood the courtroom, as I said before, when normally Mr. Hinton's family members would have been allowed in the courtroom and other members of the public are allowed in the courtroom. But this judge allowed the entire police department to flood the whole area so they could attempt to intimidate Mr. Hinton in the courtroom. Unacceptable, despicable behavior. Once again, we're not talking about all of the light-skinned members of our society because they all don't behave that way. They all don't want to be accepted only by white society and not give a damn about the other half of their Africanity or blackness. They all don't behave that way. But in this case, this person's behavior was a little questionable. And that's what this content creator is making a point of.
Taxpayer-funded street gang, and the judge allowed them to. The white media, of course, dismissed all of this, saying that, well, they were there to show their support. They could have done that by being out on duty. It's a courtroom, not a fraternal order of police clubhouse. This is showing from the jump that the fix is in, and that these crooked authorities want to make it clear exactly whose side they're on. There will be no objectivity here, but then again, there never is. Mr. Hinton Jr.'s attorney said the obvious, that he is a devoted family man, a law-abiding citizen with no felony record, in fact, nothing to indicate hostility or antipathy towards the police or anyone else for that matter, and that even if he is found to have been the perpetrator of this incident, it's obvious that he was not in his right mind. This is a clear case of mental illness, if anything. It's certainly not murder. Even the prosecutors know this, which is why they didn't charge him with first-degree murder or first-degree anything, because there was clearly no premeditation, no forethought. This is a grieving and distraught father who only hours earlier had just learned that his son had been killed, and now he was invited to the police chief's office so he could watch what amounts to a snuff film. Any parent who had just watched video of their child being gunned down in a hail of bullets would have been in the same state of mental stress that Mr. Hinton Jr. was. Prosecutors, having suddenly discovered a willingness to charge people, said that they believed Mr. Hinton Jr., in a way that was calculated and premeditated, lined up his car, deliberately accelerated his vehicle, and purposely caused the death. Now, isn't that exactly what the person who killed Mr. Hinton Jr.'s son did? Ryan Hinton did nothing other than run. And the person who killed him, in a way that was calculated and premeditated, lined up his gun, deliberately fired his gun, and purposely caused Ryan Hinton's death.
Okay, here, pardon me, here is another still photograph of the shooting. Now, he's running away. His back is turned. He is firing. This is the smoke from the gun as he's firing. You could see the smoke from the gun. You see his back? You see him running away? How was this motherfucker holding this gun in fear of his life? Explain that shit to me. Why couldn't he run his lazy ass over there? This boy is not too far away. Can this lazy bitch-made coward run his ass over there and tackle him? He doesn't look like he has any gun in his hand. He couldn't just run over there. He couldn't have shot him in his fucking leg or something. Don't they teach these people how to shoot? This motherfucker's shooting to kill. Why? It's a black person. That's why.
He certainly didn't think that shooting this guy multiple times was going to result in him living. The killer was not fired upon, by the way, and the police chief bragged that we don't require them to wait to be fired upon just to gun someone down. The video doesn't support the police's claim that Ryan Hinton was aiming a gun at anyone, and the person who took his life has still not even been identified. Now I'm sure we'll have some unthinking numbskulls who will try to say, well, Ryan Hinton had stolen a car if nothing else.
All right, so let's read this. The Cincinnati Police Department says he appeared to point a gun at an officer. No proof. And when we looked at the video, we could see there is no proof because it didn't fucking happen. He didn't point anything at anybody. You see?
First of all, that has yet to be established, but for the sake of argument, let's who took his life has still not even been identified. Now I'm sure we'll have some unthinking numbskulls who will try to say...
All right, let me make some commentary again here about the fact that the police officer that this boy's father killed was not the officer that killed his son. So I hear a lot of fucking niggas and fucking cowardly niggas and racist white people saying, oh, he didn't, that's not revenge. He didn't even get the man that killed his son. He couldn't get to the man that killed his son because the cowards in the police department are withholding his identity, withholding his fucking face. So even if his father wanted to get the man that murdered his son in cold blood, he wouldn't be able to do it anyway because the man is being hidden like the pussy that he is. You killed I'm tired of seeing black men being murdered in their own homes, black women being shot in the fucking face, black naval airmen being gunned down in their own doorways, black men being shot dead on the fucking sofa of their own apartment or in the apartment of one of their relatives, black women being shot dead in their fucking bed. You know who I'm talking about. Black women being shot through the window while they're playing video games with their fucking nephew. And we just supposed to sit back and keep taking this shit, and you think nothing's going to happen? These people must be out of their goddamn minds. They're lucky that only this has happened so far. All of these fucking police departments, all these police everywhere, all over the nation, yo, you motherfuckers are lucky that only this has happened. You've committed so many atrocities that you probably deserve more. And if you don't fucking stop, your rampant ass police brutality, you can look forward to more black people losing their fucking mind and being hell-bent on getting revenge when they know your bullshit ass criminal injustice system is not going to punish that fucking cowardly murderer wearing that badge. Because that black person, and even sometimes white people, get murdered by these cowards. And there is no recourse. There is no punishment. And you expect people to sit back and keep taking this shit. You must be out of your fucking mind. So I would suggest all you police officers all over the country, get your cowardly ass, savage, punk ass officers that are always afraid for their lives. You get control of those people. You rein those people in, all you other officers that are so-called good, the good officers. You take care of those bad, out-of-control officers, because one day your innocent ass may have to suffer the wrath of something that you didn't have anything to do with, like this officer that got ran over. You see? All you good police officers out there, do your fucking job and report those bad ones. Grab their asses up if you have to physically grab them up and put your foot in their ass to get them to stop before they cause you, Mr. Peaceful Good Officer, before they give you a bad name and a bad look and you become a target of the community based on the behavior of some asshole next to you. Get the shit right. Get it together so that shit doesn't happen to you. Why don't you do what you're fucking paid to do? Why don't you do what they're stealing money from the everyday hardworking person in the form of taxes to pay your simple cowardly ass? Why don't you do what you're fucking supposed to do, and this kind of shit won't happen? And all you fucking nigger parents out there, why don't you raise your kids up the right fucking way? And maybe this shit won't fucking happen. There's a difference between a nigger and a black person. And if you don't know the difference, then you're a fucking nigger yourself.
Well, Ryan Hinton had stolen a car, if nothing else. First of all, that has yet to be established, but for the sake of argument, let's concede that assertion. Do the police routinely kill people suspected of stealing a car? And don't give me any crap about the police were scared because they saw a gun. The police themselves have already admitted that as far as pointing a weapon at anyone, they don't actually have any evidence of that. And merely seeing a gun never justifies opening fire. The police routinely encounter individuals with guns on a regular basis. I've detailed that for you on this channel with my crime reports. And they don't open fire unless that person actually points the gun at them. Well, depending on their skin color, that is. But with black citizens, they don't need to see a gun at all to shoot a black person dead. Since at least 2015, we've had an endless list of black citizens who didn't have a gun, but were gunned down by the police anyway with their hands up. If the person who killed Ryan Hinton was so scared, Why didn't he take cover? Police caught at least 2 of the other individuals alleged to have been in the car. They could have easily been able to get the identities of anyone who got away. If the cop who killed Ryan Hinton was so scared, shouldn't that have been his reaction? Take cover? Kyle Rittenhouse gunned down 2 people. Police watched him do it, and they just decided to drive by him and gave him a thumbs up. So apparently they're scared of guns when they choose to be. The white media endlessly lectures us that police do a dangerous job, but the Bureau of Labor Statistics tells a different story, that policing is one of the safest jobs in America compared to all the others, which is why the mayor and everyone else has time to show up whenever some cop is killed, because it happens so rarely. The primary cause of police deaths are suicide. None of the politicians ever show up for those funerals. But if we are to believe the talking point that policing is just so outrageously dangerous, and that cops have to make life and death decisions getting out of bed every morning, then why is it that we see such unique and irregular displays of emotion whenever police actually do get killed? The military doesn't have angry families storming the courtroom and angry veterans groups acting out when soldiers come back dead by the thousands. Only a handful of police die every year by comparison. So why do these politicians and the white media portray it as if it's by the boatload? Why do they exaggerate so much? I've detailed for you in my numerous crime reports how police are killed by white suspects, and that doesn't prompt the white media's typical narratives about police do a dangerous job. And what about Blue Lives Matter? And police want to quit because the public's turned against them. When's the last time you've seen a judge allow the police to pack the courtroom when a white suspect killed a cop? This is about justifying any and every use of force against black people because we...
All right, let's stop right here. Look at this black woman right here. And there's another black cop. I think there she is right there. And there's a lot of black mammy cops. Now, you black cops, the black cops that beat Tyree Nichols to death, cops like these black cops, these are enemies. I don't know what her behavior is, or what her behavior is as a cop, or what they have done or what they haven't done. The point is, if you're on a police force and you know that your police force is racist as fuck, and you turn a blind eye to it, you act like it doesn't exist, you never speak up about it, you never report these individuals, you never try to fight it. If you don't do that as a black cop, then you are a fucking nigger, and you are an enemy of the black community. I'm sorry. I just call it like I see it. Let's continue. Not saying that that's what these people are. I don't know what they do. But they probably have just fallen in line, and they probably don't do anything. And that's sad to say. I don't know these people, so I can't prejudge them. But they're getting automatically smeared and judged based on the behavior of most black cops on police forces. Because we haven't seen any activity. We haven't seen any black cops union come out in any way and during any press conference or anything else to talk about how they condemn police violence toward black people. We never ever see that. And that's a problem.
We never hear these talking points at any other time. So I give my sincerest condolences to the Hinton family. They've lost a son, and the father is now fighting for his freedom. We often hear apologists for police killings of black citizens say that all lives matter, a phony talking point that we only hear when a black citizen has been killed by the police, or on the rare occasion that a black citizen has been accused of killing a cop, but only if it's a white one. Well, if we're going to be hearing the everyone needs to do thus and so talking point, then we should be hearing it now. What's happened here is a tragic confluence of events. The police didn't mean to kill Ryan Hinton, right? And Mr. Hinton Jr., a law-abiding family man with no felony record, didn't mean to harm anyone either. This is a sad case of diminished capacity, nothing more. And that being the case, it's a tragedy for all involved. In fact, even the prosecutors and the authorities have said that this is an all-around tragedy for everyone. And that being the case, Since the killer of Ryan Hinton hasn't been charged or arrested and hasn't even been named, why is it that Mr. Hinton Jr. is not receiving the same treatment? The death of Ryan Hinton is the same as the death of that sheriff's deputy. A tragedy, but not a crime. The family of Ryan Hinton is expected to understand that these things happen, and that no matter how they feel, nothing will be done because, as white prosecutors are so fond of saying to black victims, well, sending so-and-so to prison, that's not going to bring the victim back. How many times have we heard that one whenever prosecutors have made some sweetheart plea deal to allow some race killer to walk, or just to make sure that they get the minimum sentence? The talking point that we hear from the usual suspects is that Ryan Hinton's killer didn't get up that morning intending to kill him, and Rodney Hinton Jr. didn't get up that morning intending to kill that sheriff's deputy either. It happened spontaneously after he was traumatized watching his son being killed. And if the killer of Ryan Hinton shouldn't be prosecuted even though he committed his killing with no mental impairment or defect, then how much more deserving of consideration is Mr. Hinton Jr., who was clearly, if he did this at all, acting under extraordinary mental duress? I'm sure those same prosecutors and police and white media pundits will agree that everyone needs to simply accept what's happened here and just move on with their lives. Good.
Exactly. Exactly. So if the officer that killed this man's son was in a state of mental panic and fear, just fear-stricken to the point where he had to shoot somebody that wasn't pointing a gun at him in the back, and he's getting off scot-fucking free, well then, Ryan Hinton's father, Rodney Hinton, like the man said, who was temporarily out of his mind with rage and insane at that particular time, he can't be held accountable either for his mental state. He should be let go scot-free. Right? That's what the person that did that video was the point that they're trying to make to you all. Diminished capacity. And we should all just fucking move on. Just like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and their administration tried to do with the killers of Ahmaud Arbery. They tried to bury that fucking case and get the family of Ahmaud Arbery to just move on. And these people weren't even cops. They were just some white fucking racists. And they wanted Ahmaud Arbery's family to just fucking move on. Just like we were supposed to just move on from all of those other situations I detailed about black people being murdered by police and just forget about it. So they should forget about this one. This black father he was not in his right mind. He was in a state of rage insanity. Just like the officer that killed his son wasn't in his right mind. He was in a state of insane cowardice, fearing for his life for no fucking reason. And they want to let him get away with that shit. So his father should get away with the shit that he did. Plain and simple. Now, let's take a look at something that's going to be hard for most black men to watch, most black people to watch. The grandfather, who is the father of Rodney Hinton. He is the father of Rodney Hinton, the man that ran the police officer over. So he is the grandfather of young Ryan Hinton, who was murdered by police. Let's listen to the grandfather speak about how concerned he is and how much he feels sorry for the family of the officer that was run over by his son. How concerned he is, how much he wants to forgive, how much he is a follower of Jesus. Let's listen to this craziness, actually.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
This is another channel, the Tim Black Show. First of all, let me go back to let me go back to the channel that I just did a review of was Professor Black Truth, the one that had the commentary and had some of the video footage and had the article. And that channel was Professor Black Truth. You can go there. I don't agree with everything that he says or the way that he says it at times, but I'm on board with most of the things that he says, and it's very good content. So take a look at it. It's worth it. Now let's go to the Tim Black show, Tim Black TV. He has some video footage of the grandfather at the press conference. Let's take a look at this.
I'm Rodney Hinton Sr. I want to give the condolence out to the officers that got killed, my whole family. I'm asking for forgiveness, and I've been praying hard for the officer that killed my grandson. I've been praying hard for him and his family because I know he's hurting off this. As I seen in the video about my grandson, I seen two scared people. I seen the officer scared, and I seen my grandson scared. So it's an unfortunate incident that happened. So that's all I seen. It was like, I didn't see the police there try to kill. No. What I seen was two persons made a mistake. My grandson made a mistake being there, and the officer, he was trying to get back to his family too. So that's what I seen. So it's not about revenge or anything. I have nothing against nobody. You know, my Lord and Savior is Jesus Christ.
Oh, I gotta stop it right there. What the hell does your Lord and Savior? Your Lord and Savior couldn't save your grandson. Jesus couldn't save his fucking grandson, his Lord and Savior. Your Lord and Savior got you up here pleading like a fucking nigga, talking about some. I'm praying for the officer. I'm praying for the officer that shot my grandson. I know he's going through a whole lot right now. I know he's in pain. What is this nigga doing? What is he doing? Talking about Jesus and shit. Jesus didn't show up. I don't want to hear nothing about no Jesus. He was nowhere to be found. But he ain't finished. And on top of that, this man is babbling, sounding like a fucking idiot when he talks. Tough love, people. Black people, you better get your education. You're sounding real fucking dumb out here when you say shit. I'm sorry. This is one of the things that can help you when you deal with police. Not sounding like a stupid fucking nigga when you talk. Sounding like you know exactly what's going on during your stop. Sounding like you know what your rights are. Sounding like you're not going to let anybody take your life for no good reason or escalate a situation when it doesn't have to be escalated. Sounding like you have got some sense. This backs down a lot of police because they know they're not dealing with a fucking idiot. You need to raise your kids up and keep them in school. Make sure they know how to read, write, enunciate, and pronounce their words clearly and express themselves clearly. Make sure you know how to do the same as an adult. This gets you out of a lot of trouble. If they think they have to respect you because you got a brain in your head. This is very important. Pay attention to what your kids are doing in school. Make sure they are thriving and doing their very best. Make sure they are getting a quality education, even if you have to take some of the responsibility as the teacher. I had to do it. Take some of the responsibility to teach my kids certain things. Help them with their homework. Help them figure out things. Help them read. Help build their vocabulary. we got to get it together. We got to get it together.
And represent him. So, with that said, please, everybody, just
Let me
try
back
to
this up a little bit.
So it's no. What I seen was two persons made a mistake. My grandson made a mistake being there, and the officer, he was trying to get back to his family too. So that's what I seen. So it's not about revenge or anything. I have nothing against nobody. You know, my Lord and Savior is Jesus Christ, and I represent Him. So, with that said, please, everybody, just try to forgive everybody who done anything to anybody.
Mr. Redden, for you, this is a fact-finding mission more than anything to make sure you understand.
Yeah, it's
exactly
a peace thing for me, for everything, for everybody to heal off this. I want everybody to heal off this. You know, it was just like a mistake. I really feel bad for the officer who was shooting because I can see the scariness in him too. People can't see it because I'm going spiritual with this now. So I was able to see that God had allowed me to see.
Now he's talking about he's getting spiritual. God allowed him to see the fear in this officer, but not the fear in his grandson as his grandson was running away. What the fuck is going on with this man? Now, I know maybe he probably thinks that all of this begging and shit and this and that. Now, he's saying all of this after he viewed the video because they had him in the room with Ryan's father, Rodney, who's in jail right now for running over the so-called innocent officer. They had the whole family there to review the shooting, and this is what this grandfather took away from it. All of this big pity party for the cop. When his father saw it, he went to 100 on the rage and insanity front. And he went out, allegedly, I got to say allegedly, because they still don't have all the facts. They still don't have, from what I understand, they still don't have all of the details to actually convict him and putting him at the scene. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But I have to say allegedly until he's convicted by a jury of his peers. That hasn't taken place yet. But he's being charged with running this officer over. When the father saw the video, he didn't see all this fear that this grandfather saw. He didn't get moved by the spirit to show pity for the man that murdered his son. When the father saw the video footage, he went out because he could not get to the coward that murdered his son because they were hiding his identity. So he went out and did the next best thing in his mind and got the first person that he could, police officer that he had access to. Again, it's an unfortunate situation. The police need to get their shit together and stop behaving like cowards and murdering unarmed people. Some of these people are innocent. They just get caught up in the confrontations with police and wind up losing their lives. The police need to be brought under control and subdued and be made to understand that the people pay their fucking salary. You should treat the public with the utmost respect. And these kinds of situations won't happen. I already went over the responsibility of the family raising their kids. We already went over all of that. And these kinds of situations won't happen. But let's not get it confused here. The father saw the video and it looked like a murder to him and he lost his mind. The grandfather, he must think that by being so apologetic that this is going to cause the system to be lenient on his son. But what this does is I'm so angry about this because this is dangerous. This grandfather is a dangerous Negro. All this apologizing and saying Jesus is my Lord and Savior. I just want to forgive everybody. Everything was an accident, and let's move on. All this kind of talk makes the cops feel like they can continue their crusade of violence against black people. And we'll just all say, let Jesus take care of it. Let's all just apologize and it'll all fucking go away. I feel so sorry for the police that shot my relative. And let's just move beyond this and let's just make it all go away because Jesus said so. That's dangerous. That makes the police think that we ain't going to do shit every time they murder one of us. That's what that does. That's why I'm so angry about that.
See this part of the accident. You know, just like my son made an accident too. So he made an accident. Just, you know what I'm saying, just trying to just move on now. That's all I'm trying to do on. And I'm praying for the officer and their family. You know?
Right. Yeah, folks, I got to stop there, man. And you know what, man? I'm going to say, first of all, that this brother, man, this is the father. Not the father. I don't know who he is. Right? I don't know. I don't know who he is. Who's this guy? Anybody know who he is? Anybody in the comment section know who he is?
He is the grandfather of the boy that was shot. He said that at the beginning of the press conference. Now this guy, he's going to, make excuses saying the grandfather has the right to feel the way he feels. No, he doesn't. Not when every black person in America is affected by this shit. You don't have the right to do that. I'm sorry, you just fucking don't.
Because his father, Rodney Hinton Jr., is in jail. So I don't know who this is. But I would like to know who he is. If you know, put it in the comment section. And look, he's entitled to feel however he wants to feel about it. Right? He cares about things. And I respect that. And more power to him, and I also respect his feelings about religion, his feelings about spirituality, the way he feels like he needs to move beyond this. He needs to, and look, I get it. It does sound similar to Mr. Metcalf over there with the son of Austin Metcalf. His first name escapes me, Mr. Metcalf, in the Ohio case at the track meet. Sounds similar to the words he was using afterwards, directly afterwards. But with none of the cause for justice that Mr. Metcalf was demanding. Because Mr. Metcalf had some spirituality in there, and he had some empathy in there, and some reasonableness, and let's not make this race and these things, which I feel is eventually going to come out that there may be some ulterior motive for that. But hey, that's neither here nor there. It's just my gut feeling. But yeah, okay, so I want to say that first.
He's talking about the white man whose son was stabbed by the black guy because he was being bullied by the two brothers, the white brothers, and he stabbed one of them to death. That's a different case that he's talking about. And he's talking about how the white father was saying this similar shit about how let's all be Christians or some shit, and it's not really about race, and it's a bad situation. But he's pointing out that white father also wanted some justice, though, for his son. He wanted somebody to pay for that shit. And he didn't hear this grandfather who you just heard asking for any kind of punishment. That's the point that he's trying to make right now. Let's continue.
Second, I can't stand when we do this. I cannot stand when we do this. Folks, the video of that officer, now maybe he saw more video than me, so I'm going to give him that. No, hold on a second. The 6 seconds of video that's been released to the public, all I saw was the man get out of his car, and within 6 seconds, he shot a young man 4 times in the back.
So this is the second person that said First, you saw the white man in the first video that I gave my commentary on. He said he saw the young black boy be shot in the back. This man is saying what he saw was the young black boy being shot in the back. I'm saying what I saw is a young black boy being shot in the back. And he's wondering, what the hell did what was this grandfather looking at?
And then said he was afraid for his life. I don't know about you, but if a lion's coming at me and then the lion's running away from me, I'm no longer afraid for my life because the lion's gone.
Hello, my name is Adam Ferrari, the Chief Executive Officer of Phoenix Energy. I look forward to you joining.
I don't mean to compare the brother Ryan to a lion, but I'm saying if a threat is coming at me, which it wasn't, the threat's going this way, and you're standing over here, the threat is over here. He was standing here, the threat was running down that way. And he, bap, bap, bap. I don't know what this man talking about. But maybe he saw something in the video that played after that. Maybe the cop was very distraught. Maybe there was something there. So look, I have not watched other content on this, but I do want to acknowledge that they say they tried to save his life after the shooting, and I got a feeling there's a lot more body cam footage that we haven't seen.
They tried to save his life. They took his life. You saw the video, I saw the video. It's no more, it's nothing else to see. We saw when he shot. The boy was running away when he got shot. We all saw it. His father saw it. That's why what took place took place. Let's take a look at a video of, pardon me. Let's take a look at a situation that took place not too long after this situation, where a white man is going to pull an AR-15 assault rifle on this cop. And this cop doesn't attempt to run this white man over, doesn't attempt to draw his weapon and take cover and shoot and pull his weapon out, tell this motherfucker to stand down. He could have used his car as a shield and just ran him the fuck over. And that's all it would have taken. Step on the accelerator, run his ass over. He's coming at you with a fucking rifle. But this fucking coward with a badge, his bitch ass, backs up and gets out of there as quickly as he can, as he could. They catch up to this white man later on, a couple of miles down the road, and they take him in, uninjured, not shot. They bring him in. If this was a black man that did this, as soon as they caught up to that car, they would have unloaded on that vehicle. And they would have said the black man pointed the rifle, the black man was pointing his gun at them. And they would have been justified. Nobody would have said anything about it because the black man got out of his car with a rifle and was acting threatening. They wouldn't have brought his black ass in unscathed, unharmed. They would have murdered him on sight when they caught up with him. They would have brought SWAT in. They would have brought the whole department. They would have brought the state troopers in. They brought this crazy white man in unharmed. Let's watch this. Let's watch this shit.
Pull an AR-15 on the highway patrol. Pull an AR-15 on the highway patrol.
Look at this.
A driver pulled over for speeding pointed a rifle at a highway patrol officer yesterday. CHP says it happened just north of Reading on I-5. An officer stopped a vehicle on the Mountain Gate off-ramp. The driver, they say, got out of the car, pointed the AR-style.
All right. See, he had enough wherewithal to put the car in reverse and press on the gas. All he had to do was take his foot off the gas, take his foot off the brake, slam on the gas, and run him the fuck over. Why didn't he do it? This shit is
assault
crazy.
rifle toward the officer.
Pulling AR-15 on the highway patrol.
A driver pulled over for speeding pointed a rifle at a highway patrol officer yesterday. CHP says it happened just north of Reading on I-5. An officer stopped a vehicle on the Mountain Gate off-ramp. The driver, they say, got out of the car, pointed the AR-style assault rifle toward the officer. Officials say the suspect re-entered his vehicle and then they started pursuit. Vehicle continued southbound, driving at varying speeds before exiting the freeway at Oasis, continuing for about 2 miles west before stopping near Vigil Court. The suspect taken into custody, booked into Shasta County Jail.
What the f***? Pulling AR-15.
Can you believe that shit? Now that's somebody pointing a weapon at a cop. Brought him in unharmed. That's unbelievable. Can you believe that? Did you see what I saw? That should have been some fearing for your life type stuff, right? That's a reason to run somebody over right there. They brought him in. I keep saying it because I can't believe it. They brought him in unharmed. But I can believe it. Let's take a look at another one situation. This man was brought in unharmed. He fired.
Tonight with developing news, a police.
Some reports say he fired about 30 rounds. He fired on the police. They brought this man in unharmed. This video was put up 8 years ago by this news. This is a CBS affiliate. This is in California. You know what the funny thing is about this story? You can't find any more information about this man. They won't show you his face. There's no update in Google or any when you try to search about what happened to this man. But we do know that he was brought in unharmed. Or if he wasn't, or if he was harmed, we know the cops did not shoot him down dead. They took him in alive. And this man was unloading rounds on the cops from an AR-15 style pistol. He modified an AR-15 rifle and put a pistol grip on it, and he was firing on the cops. In some way, somehow, they took him in alive. We can't find any information about whether he was black or white. What color do you think he was? Do you think that if he was black, they would have put his name, his face, and everything else all over the news? I think so. I don't think he was black. Some of the people in the this man in the comments says, let me guess, he's not black. I don't think he is either. I think they would have let us know that if he was.
Pursuit and shooting in the Inland Empire. Investigators say the driver opened fire on a Corona police officer after refusing to pull over. It all came to an end in Riverside along the 91 freeway near Van Buren Boulevard. Tonight, KCAL 9 Inland Empire reporter Crystal Cruz is live near the scene with new details. Crystal.
Hi, Susie. Things could have turned out a lot worse out here. Police say they found an altered AR-15 with the barrel cut off, so it was made into sort of a pistol. They say they also found a 30-round magazine. I want to show you right behind me is the driver's van. It's straight down there. Police say the driver was shooting at them through the window of his van until it all ended right out here. Now, this started in Corona when a passerby flagged officers down to tell them the driver of the van was possibly a suspect in a drive-by shooting last month. The officer tried to pull the van over. That is when we're told shooting started. The driver crashed into another car, got out, and then ran, but police officers found him hiding nearby. Again, they tell us they found an altered AR-15. That's illegal to alter one of these weapons. They also found a 30-round magazine. Now tonight, a passerby out here, he told us it's just crazy what is going on with police officers lately.
We don't know what this person's identity is. They never showed it. I tried to find information about it. There's no information about it. He was brought in unharmed, firing from a 30-round capacity magazine. But they couldn't bring their boy in unharmed. They had to shoot him all in his back and end his life. Now, finally, let's take a look at this more cowardly behavior from cops. Let's take a look at this story. From Here's the Deal, again, the same white guy that I did a commentary on the first time. This is another video from his channel, Here's the Deal.
The police shooting of a teen with autism ending in tragedy. Victor Perez has
4 weeks
died
ago.
after being removed from life support a short time ago. He was shot 9 times by police.
The death of a 17-year-old from Pocatello, Idaho. His name, Victor Perez. He had autism and cerebral palsy.
Tonight, outrage after multiple Idaho police officers opened fire on a teenage boy with autism.
We know this incident has deeply affected the community. The full picture
with autism
and cerebral.
At the point that a video is stopped, they start shooting. The only thing that this boy had was a knife. These cops have batons, tasers, pepper spray, all kinds of shit. But these fucking 4 cowards.
Palsy.
Tonight,
don't make no mistake.
After multiple
this is
Idaho
what these
police
people are.
officers opened fire on a teenage boy with autism.
Look at this shit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Against an autistic boy holding a knife behind a fucking fence. Each one of these officers has a taser. Each one of them has some type of pepper spray. Each one of them is supposed to know how to do some type of hand-to-hand combat to some degree to disarm people with deadly weapons. To some degree, they don't have to be experts at it, but they don't need to be. They have tasers. They got pepper spray. The boy's autistic. Behind a fucking fence, throw a rock at his ass. Tell him to stop. Holler at that motherfucker. You unload shotgun and handgun rounds in him. You can't stop a 17-year-old autistic boy with a fucking knife? It's amazing.
Autism.
Look at this shit.
We know this incident has
Look at this shit.
Opened fire on a teenage boy with autism.
We know this incident has deeply affected the community. The full picture requires careful review of all facts and evidence.
What kind of crazy, insane world are we living in, and why in the heck are people still supporting the Thin Blue Line, especially in light of stories like we covered yesterday with the Pocatello, Idaho Police Department summarily executing 17-year-old Victor Perez, who's an autistic, nonverbal boy with cerebral palsy who's standing behind a fence in his own yard. You'd think the Pocatello Police Department would just take the L and slowly fade into the distance. But nope. What did they do? They doubled down on their insane tyranny by taking up sniper positions above, you guessed it, the very crowd protesting Victor's death and the Pocatello Police Department's insane tyranny and criminality.
There's a Medicare rule that unfortunately way too many people just aren't aware of. And it's the fact that if you pick out
I mean, think of the reckless gall of these people and how out of touch with reality they have to be to one day be pointing their guns at a young member of the community, and the next day they're pointing their guns at every member of the community. The last group of people you want on top of this roof protecting and serving you would be the Pocatello, Idaho Police Department. In this video, we're going to take a look at the statement coming out of the Pocatello Police Department addressing the issue of having snipers point their firearms at members of the community who are protesting and are sick of police criminality. It says, however, it is not known what prompted them to leave. Let's take a look at this news report.
Well, thanks for joining us for the Sunday News at 5. I'm Hunter Funk. Police were, quote, strategically positioned during a protest in Pocatello after the death of...
Look at this guy with his long gun pointed at the crowd.
17-year-old Victor Perez.
For officer safety, of course.
The protest was outside the Pocatello Police Department yesterday. City officials say the police presence on top of the building was in response to an FBI tip that officers near the protest may be targeted.
So here we go again with the cowardly fucking FBI. The murderers, the assassins known as the FBI. They tell the police department, oh, with some people that y'all got to put some snipers on the roof to protect yourself against the innocent crowd of people down there protesting the fact that you murdered a young 17-year-old boy with autism. Put some snipers on the roof to intimidate the protesters, the people that pay your fucking salary. This is what the bitch-ass FBI told them to do. The cowardly-ass FBI. The same FBI that has been it has been proven harassed the black community, the Black Panthers, several black activists throughout history. That same fucking FBI. They told these officers that they needed to put snipers on the roof to protect themselves against the innocent people. To protect themselves, let's take a look at these people that they need to protect themselves against. Let's take a look at this shit.
Was in response
This person
to an
right
FBI
here.
tip.
They have to train their rifles on her. Oh, she's so fucking dangerous.
That officers near the protest.
Oh, look at all these dangerous fucking people right here. Peacefully protesting. They got snipers on these cowards. These people are fucking cowards. Cowards. This is the reason why the fucking Second Amendment exists. Your right to bear arms. So you can't be overrun by psycho-ass police departments that may seek to overrun you, run you over, infringe on every right that you have as an American citizen. This is the reason that the founding so-called fathers of this nation put the Second Amendment in place. It was to protect the average everyday American citizen from being overrun by their own government. It was not to protect them from foreign entities or from foreign invasion. The Second Amendment exists for you to be able to have a fucking AR-15 assault rifle to protect yourself against police, to protect yourself against your own government when they get out of hand. Yet you got some Democrats and some liberals out there, and now even some fake-ass Republican conservatives out there that want to jump on the bandwagon to disarm the public. And when they disarm you and take away your right to have that AR-15 assault rifle, you will be seriously outgunned if the cops ever decide to invade your home for no good goddamn reason. Or if the federal government decides to invade your home for no good goddamn reason, when you've broken no law and committed no crime, when you just wanted to live free and be fucking left alone. If they want to force you to take a fucking vaccine later on down the line, or if they don't like the way what you say on Facebook or YouTube, when you're supposed to be living in a nation of free fucking speech, you're not threatening anybody. You're not calling for violence. You're just advocating for self-defense. But if they believe you shouldn't be able to defend yourself against them, the police, the federal government, the military, whoever the fuck it is, if they feel like you should be in a defenseless position, then they will lobby and promote and pursue means to prevent you from having a rifle, an AR-15 style assault rifle. They only think the cops should have it or the military should have it. You, as an everyday American citizen, you should be defenseless and helpless in the face of tyranny. This is what they want in this land. But the founding fathers disagree with these people. That's why they implemented the Second Amendment. They didn't even want a standing army. If you look into the research of why they created the Second Amendment, they even said that they didn't want the United States to have a standing army, a group of men on standby trained to kill people, a large group of men, because they thought that any president or any government that didn't like the freedoms of the people, that they could use that standing army as a tool against the people, against the citizens of the nation, to force them to do whatever it is they wanted them to do at any given time. That's why they didn't want a standing army. They felt like if they could foresee a situation where there is a possible invasion taking place, then you bring the army together. That was their original intent, their original idea. But they didn't want a whole group of men, trained killers with big guns and sophisticated weaponry standing on side, standing at the ready with nothing to do. Maybe somebody would get it into their head. We don't like what the people are doing. Let's use some of this military. Let's use some of these police to force these people to do what the fuck we tell them to do. That's the reason why they didn't want a standing army. That's the reason why they implemented the Second Amendment. A well-armed militia, highly trained and organized, able to bear arms. The militia is the people. Policing, every citizen in this country needs to be prepared to defend themselves against anybody. Anybody can abuse power at any given time. And your right to bear arms should not be infringed upon. We've seen several incidents here today of cowardly activities by police officers. And we know the history of what happens when police engage in these things. We know that they don't get punished. And this cannot be allowed to continue. This cannot be allowed to continue. But it's up to the average, everyday, hardworking American citizen to stand up and be willing to fight for what is right. No one man or woman or child, for that matter, has the right to take anyone else's life for no good goddamned reason. I don't care what position of authority you think you have or hold. Your life, you don't have any more right or reason to make it back home to your family safe than I do or anyone else does. Your life, just because you're a cop, a soldier, or whatever the fuck you think you are, a president, congressman, senator, your life is no more valuable than the man working in fucking McDonald's. You need to get that shit through your fucking head. That man working at McDonald's is paying taxes. He's paying your salary. That woman working at Walmart is paying taxes. They're paying your fucking salary. Show some respect. Having said that, I'm out. May the great mother and father, creators of the universe, and may the ancestors, and may Amun Ra be with you to keep you safe and healthy and blessed. Peace.